Social media has turned rappers into global brands overnight, but it has also created a dangerous illusion of safety. Posts meant to flex success, celebrate life, or connect with fans. In some cases, acting like digital breadcrumbs leading to straight tragedy. These are some of the most chilling examples of social media posts that played a role in getting rappers killed. On February 19th, 2020, Pop Smoke, the undisputed king of Brooklyn drill, was staying at a rented mansion in the Hollywood Hills. At just 20 years old, he was riding one of the hottest waves hip-hop had seen in years, drawing comparisons to legends like 50 Cent and DMX with his signature growl and street presence. The home, located on Hercules Drive in a quiet upscale neighborhood, was owned by Edwin Arroyo and Teddy Mellencamp. Pop was living fast, surrounded by luxury, momentum, and attention from all directions. What led to Pop Smoke's death wasn't a professional hit or some elaborate conspiracy. It was something far more simpler and far more modern. Pop had received a care package from the luxury fashion brand AMI Paris and decided to shout him out on Instagram and Facebook stories. What he didn't notice was the high-resolution camera on his phone clearly captured the shipping label on the bag. When viewers zoomed in, the full address of Hercules Drive mansion was visible. Around the same time, Pop also posted photos flashing large stacks of cash, adding another layer of temptation for the wrong eyes watching. Members of a South LA gang, the Hoover Criminals, came across the post. They didn't know Pop Smoke personally and weren't connected to him musically or socially. They simply followed the digital trail he had unknowingly left behind. Around 4 a.m., 5 suspects pulled up to the property. Although the house had a security system, it was not set. Inside, they found Pop Smoke upstairs in the bathroom, taking a shower. A 15-year-old shooter pistol whipped him and fired 3 shots into his back. The rap world was left in shock. Pop Smoke was killed over a diamond-encrusted Rolex that was later sold for only $2,000. Rest in peace to Pop Smoke. On September 12, 2022, PNB Rock was in Los Angeles for what should have been a happy moment. A melodic standout from Philadelphia, even his name reflected his roots. Pistolas and Ben Salem streets that shaped his life in music. PNB was not naive about danger. He had lived through it, survived it, and spoke openly about it. Just days before his death, he even discussed how bold criminals in LA could be, fully aware that fame did not make him untouchable. That afternoon, PNB and his girlfriend Stephanie stopped for food at Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles on Manchester Avenue and Main Street in South LA at around 12 p.m. They walked inside, and PNB was almost immediately noticed. The plot was already in motion before anything ever hit social media. Around 1:15, Stephanie posted a photo of their chicken and waffles and geotagged their location. The target was still sitting inside, unaware of what was coming. Freddie Lee Trong, a 42-year-old local, had already been alerted. He drove his 17-year-old son to the restaurant. Minutes later, the teenager walked into Roscoe's wearing a mask, went straight up to PNB Rock, and pulled out a gun to his head. There was no real chance to react. Shots were fired into PNB's chest and back. As he collapsed to the floor, the shooter grabbed his jewelry and ran back to the car. The case eventually worked its way through the courts. Freddie Lee Tron was sentenced to 31 years to life for his role, while Tremont Jones, the spider who initiated the chain of events, received a 12-year sentence. Rest in peace to PNB Rock. On June 23, 2024, in Tampa, Florida, Julio Fulio was celebrating his 26th birthday. Fulio was no stranger to violence or controversy. Coming out of Jacksonville, he was a central figure in a decade-long war between his hood 6 Block and rival groups ATK and 1200. His career was built on raw confrontation, openly dissing rival hoods, and fallen enemies. By his own count, Fulio claimed he had survived multiple attempts on his life, once saying he had dodged over 100 bullets by the grace of God. That survival fed his confidence and perhaps a sense of invincibility. It also fueled a habit of oversharing online. Throughout his birthday weekend, Fulio posted constantly, telling his 1 million Instagram followers exactly where he was. He promoted a pool party at a rented Airbnb, not realizing that his ops were watching just as closely as his fans. Investigators later stated that the shooters had traveled from Jacksonville to Tampa with a single goal: to unalive him. When police shut down the Airbnb party for being overcrowded, Fulio immediately went back to Instagram the vent. He told followers that the party had been shut down and announced he was heading to a new location. In In real time, he created a step-by-step digital map of his movements. Alicia Andrews and Isaiah Chance Jr., a couple affiliated with ATK in 1200, followed his convoy across the city. Around 4 a.m., as Fulio sat inside a car in a hotel parking lot at a Hampton Inn, 3 masked gunmen jumped out, armed with 2 semi-automatic rifles and a pistol. They opened fire without hesitation. The ambush was devastating. Fulio was struck multiple times and died from his injuries at the scene. The irony was impossible to ignore. Years earlier, Fulio had mocked the op, known as 23, a close friend of Young and Ace, who was killed on his 18th birthday. Fulio himself was now dead on June 23rd, his own birthday. 5 suspects were eventually arrested, and detectives stated that the group had traveled to Tampa with one clear purpose. These cases all share a chilling pattern. In an era where every moment is posted, tagged, and shared, social media has become both a spotlight and a snitch. For these rappers, the post meant to celebrate life, success, and survival ended up exposing them to the very danger they thought they had escaped.